Yeah, what is going on, everybody? We're back with another episode of From My Experience podcast. I am your host, Rob, and I am feeling great today because we have a special guest that I'll introduce in a moment. But first, how are y'all doing? Are you doing okay? Have you been taking care of yourselves physically, mentally, and financially? Is everything good in your life? Have you been calling your strong friend to check on them? Have you been working on those goals and those business plans? Have you been promoting positivity? Have you been taking a step forward each day? I hope you have been, because I know that I have been. Been working on my podcast masterclass, working on my book, working with my boy Carl Van on Pass the Peas app. Go download that right now if you don't have Pass the Peas app. Put some recipes in there so I can follow you. My French toast recipe is in there. You'll get some laughs and you'll get some good food at the end of that one. Make sure y'all check that out. That's all I've been up to lately, man. But if you've been following the show, or if you don't follow the show, FME_podcast on Instagram, on Fanbase, From My Experience podcast on Facebook, and FMEpodcast.com. You can listen to the podcast there. You can look up information on previous guests, and you can read our blog. I've been slacking on the blog. I ain't gonna lie, I've been slacking, but I'm gonna put up a new one in the next couple days. So make sure you read those. You can comment and things like that, and you can submit your questions or share your stories to our new segment, Sharing the Experience. If you need advice or you just want to share a wild story and you want thoughts and opinions, you might get mine, you might get me and a special guest. You can just email us, admin@fmepodcast.com or rob@fmepodcast.com. I would love to see some of y'all stories, man, so we can add a little bit of a spice to the show, you know what I'm saying? But without further ado, before I get to that, thank those of you who like, share, and subscribe. I love y'all. We are getting some much needed and brand new attention because of the people who are liking, sharing, and subscribing, and I appreciate it. But without further ado, we have a special guest in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, when I think of the word personality, this is who comes to mind. She's a lot, but she's a lot in all of the best possible ways, and hopefully her podcast will be coming soon. Ladies and gentlemen, we have on the show with us today Reclaiming Sheena.
What's good? First of all, no, she's a lot. You know what? That's not a lot. In the best ways. In all the best ways.
In all the best ways. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
To these Negroes.
How you been? See? Already. So, if y'all been following the show, man, you know I've been posting and promoting about a movie that is on Hulu called 3 Ways. Make sure you go check it out right now. This is going to be our opinion, and we're going to share our experiences with the movie. So this is a spoiler alert. If you have not gone on Hulu to check out 3 Ways, make sure you go and do that, because we about to tell all the business, okay? All of it. Yes. So
Their business. The movie.
So shout out to Andrea Hall. I mean, oh my goodness. Andrea Lewis, Brittany Hall, and Jarrell O'Neal. Those are the main characters. They did a phenomenal job, in my opinion, and I loved it. And yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by this movie. And Jamal is the producer. I can't pronounce his last name. It's Dedeaux. I don't want to butcher it, but he was the writer and producer. So shout out to him as well, man. So yeah, y'all.
Very well put together. I give him a high. I love black cinema.
Definitely go give them a round of applause. I was just personally impressed because I'm typically not a fan of romantic comedies or like movies that are like kind of have like a cheesy storyline, and they actually managed to take a concept, which, I mean, it's not a brand new concept at all, but they managed to add enough depth to keep it interesting. And a lot of freaky deakiness. Like, so
Oh God.
yeah. So just to give y'all a synopsis of the movie, Stacy, who's the main character, she's conservative, nice, balanced young lady, meets Justin. In a,
Balanced? You want to call her balanced? I think we should stick to conservative and a little naive,
okay.
uh, inexperienced. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, cause yeah, you're
Because
right.
I'm assuming everybody's in their 30s.
I'm assuming everyone's in their 30s. It sounds like it. Yeah.
We didn't have that backstory, but yeah, go ahead.
So
Go
she
on.
meets Justin, or Justin meets her in the bookstore. They were about to have sex, and she went to go give him head. Her gag reflex kicked in, couldn't give him head, and he jokingly says, "Oh, next time we'll just have a relief pitcher on the side." And then they both kind of got in their heads about it. She was like, "Did he just offer me a threesome on the low? Like, I don't know how I feel about that." He goes in the bathroom, he jerks off to get one out, even though she did offer him a hand job. Shout out to her for that. Always make sure your partner finishes, especially if you don't live up to your end of the bargain. So I gave her a big high five and kudos, because I've been left hanging plenty of times. It's like, how you just gonna roll over and leave me hanging? That's
What?
another story for another
Hold
day.
on,
That's
hold on.
another story for another day.
Before we even got here, though, like, so we're not having a discussion about, things that we like or don't like. Like,
What?
I know things happen randomly. I understand things happen randomly, right? But in this regards, it was very weird, right? Because I remember we were talking about this, and it was just like, wait a minute, I thought they had already had sex.
Yeah.
And it was just like, no, they didn't have sex. She just offered him a hand job. Like what was exchanged in this scenario? Like, did she get head first, and then she was just like, oh no, I can't do this for you? Like,
yeah.
I feel like that was trash.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they had sex, because he went and jacked off after that. So it's like, unless it was round 2, you're still in your 30s, so you still got some round 2s left in you.
I'm sorry though, but you no. What you're not gonna do is first of all, they don't make me feel defeated. Like, my man had to go in the bathroom and handle business while you're right there.
I've had to do that, and she laid right. She didn't care. It was just a thing. But he snuck
up in your 30s though. That might have been some 20s type of behavior.
How old was I? I might have been in my early 30s. That's another story off camera. For real. Nah, but she didn't know he went and did that, and then he kind of came back. And the funny thing was, she then offered him a threesome, and so he was blown away. He runs into, or gets ran into by, a girl they went to high school with, who we found out later had a crush on him. He arranges a threesome. Eventually they get to have the threesome, and then the movie plays out from there. So that's like a synopsis. So we're going to go into some of the details and how we felt about like the characters and some of the scenarios. But just to give y'all a quick, like we said, we already described Stacy. There's Dante, who is Stacy's ex. He's like, I hate this word, but yeah, he's like a typical fuckboy. He got weed. Then they start off the movie. I forgot how. They didn't start the movie, but at some point they show her relationship with him, and her. Yeah, her conservative side comes out, and he's kind of like, what were the words he used? He was like,
boring.
He called her boring and let her know that it's competitive in them streets. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to have to step your freak game up if you want to compete in the streets with some of these hoes.
But I want to understand, like, how long were they together? Because apparently, if her sex game was that whack, like, sir, why are you still here? Are you homeless?
That part.
You need a place to stay?
Well, he had a car at least.
Still homeless.
He could have been homeless.
Looked like that typical,
He was very stereotypical.
I appreciate the fact that he was honest with her.
Yeah.
It didn't have to be as harsh.
Yeah.
But at least it got her thinking.
Yeah.
Right? About like, okay, maybe I need to understand who I am a little bit more. Because I do feel like there is a lid for everybody's pot. So if you're not into certain things, there's somebody out there for you. But when she said, I think balls are nasty.
Yeah, she didn't like balls.
And he was just like, see, how can I be with you and you think what I like is nasty?
That part.
Valid. Valid.
That part. And ladies, if you don't like balls, good luck. Like,
Oh my gosh, Robert.
I'm just saying, bro. That is almost like the male equivalent of the clit. Like, if you,
Oh,
I'm just saying, ladies, I'm
really?
just trying to put y'all on game. If you know what you're doing, and it's, you know, I say that because it takes balance. Like, they're sensitive, so you can't mess with them too hard, and you can't be too soft. You got to find like that right.
You can't hit the right.
Yeah, because I, I just had a flashback. I actually had to yell one time, and
Oh no.
her and I laughed about it later, and I was like, "Yeah, you trying to take it with you?" So that's Dante. There's Lorraine. Lorraine is the other woman that Justin, who is Stacy's boyfriend at the time, introduces into the threesome. Lorraine is like, for lack of the better word, and again, not trying to offend anyone, she's like the neo soul, like holistic, incense burning, spiritual free spirit type, if you will. And she's in a polyamorous relationship. She actually has a fiance, which is interesting. I think I said that word right, polyamorous.
Yeah.
Poly people don't. She's in a poly relationship. I'll use a short term. She's in a poly relationship, so that brought about an interesting dynamic. Justin is he's a low key fuck boy. You don't find out until later in the movie that he's a fuck boy, but he's a fuck boy.
He's a fuckboy masquerading as a good guy.
Yeah, and he's a high school teacher, and I'm still trying to figure out how he afforded a house in California on a high school teacher's salary. Yeah, and the reason we call him fuckboy is because he met Stacy while he had a girlfriend. And we find out later, he also cheated on Stacy with Lorraine, who is the person he brings in to have a threesome. So he just all in the streets. I'm like, bro, you should have just stayed single. Like, I don't get it. But
Right.
yeah, so the story is told from each character's perspective at different times. So there's like time jumps in there. I think they did the time jumps very well. I never found myself lost. Typically I do, and time jumps are really difficult. But I never felt lost. Did you ever feel lost at any time, Sheena?
No, I didn't. I felt like it was easy to follow, and it confirmed a couple of things that I sensed already in the very beginning, which we're going to get into. But I do like. I feel like they handled it very well.
Yeah,
because that can be tricky, getting it to be kind of a cohesive story when you're jumping around like they did. But it came off very well.
it did.
So kudos to them for that.
All right, so we're just gonna get into like some of the scenarios that happened during the movie. All right, so this was oh, I'm gonna start with so this is not gonna be in chronological order. Again, there's like time jumps, and we're gonna talk about it like in the order that things happen, sorta. But when you watch the movie, they're not gonna happen in this order because of the time jumps. Well, one of the things that cracked me up that made the movie, it was already relatable, but it made it more relatable, was when Justin finally confirms that, hey, you know, she's down for the threesome, we got the third woman, his preparation for the night. And I laugh because, fellas, we all been there where we set it up and it's like, oh shit, like I really gotta be on point tonight. So this dude goes out and buys shrooms from his homeboy. You know, we all got that like hippie cool homeboy. So he talking to the homeboy about shit and he's buying the shrooms. Then he's on YouTube learning how to cook salmon. And I was just cracking up because I've been in that situation so many times where I'm vacuuming, I'm dusting. I ain't dusting 6 months. I'm vacuuming, I'm dusting. I vacuum now. I vacuum and clean the house, but the dust, like, ooh, the back of my TV is brown. Like, all that little stuff, man. And I just found that hilarious. So, and Sheena, do y'all do that though? But like, do women have those moments like, oh, he's coming over, let me like make sure everything is spot on?
Absolutely. Like you're making sure, you know, everything is tidy, you know, prepping what you need to prep. But I feel like y'all prep for things where it's like, okay, this is an extreme. Like you have a threesome, now you want to prep? Like you should be prepping this beforehand. Like I want to come in and smell like some incense or air diffuser going off. Like, why gotta come in here and you got like stuff in the way? It shouldn't just be because I'm having a threesome, I get salmon.
You should not have to go to YouTube to learn how to cook salmon either, y'all. That's like the easiest thing.
I mean, but if he doesn't know, he doesn't know. Maybe he's just not a big cook.
Something ain't making sense. If you know how to buy a house, you gotta know how to cook salmon. That's how it is. One of those is way more complicated than the other, I promise you.
Fair enough. But I respected his preparation. But I did not respect the fact that he didn't divulge information about knowing Lorraine beforehand.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of like came out later that they had history and went to school together, and we found out all the other stuff he did later too.
Oh yeah, that's a no. Let's talk about that, right? Like, I feel like if y'all are going to do this,
yeah,
both people need input
I
on
agree.
who you choose. I don't want anybody from your past. Like, this is a conversation. Like, okay, let's go out to the bar or something. And threesomes are not my thing, right? I have not been involved in one, but I feel like if it's go down, shut up. Like, I feel like if it's going down, that is how that would have to happen. It's like both people get input on who's going to be that third party. Don't show up here with no chick that you done had, romps with for years. Okay, because the one thing that bothered me was, again, they were in the kitchen. Everybody arrives, like everything's good. They kicking it. And then homegirl, while he's preparing the salmon, Lorraine comes over and is talking to him. And she's just like, oh, yes, babe. Babe? Babe?
I'm babe tonight.
Would. My man. And you coming over here talking about something, babe.
I'm babe tonight. What's wrong with that?
You spoke to me and then you went directly to him. And then you reached in the cabinets and got a plate because you knew where the plates were. I'll be damned. It's time for you to go. You got to get up out of here.
Stacy didn't even peep that.
No, she peeked it. And in her head, she was just like, oh, they look real comfortable. Like, don't make me get up out here and show you the real Stacy. I'm like, girl,
that's what I'm saying. She didn't really
passive.
She didn't really like react. I don't think that, I mean, that I would say, if I caught a moment like that, I would have to say something like, yo, hold on, like, why are you so like, why do you know where this stuff is at? Like, you've been, like, the whole night would have been ruined from that moment. Like, honestly.
You said you didn't notice that, and it's like,
yeah, I didn't notice, like,
thing, but I was just like, babe, rubbing the shoulders, you know where his plate's at? How many times have you been over here, Heather?
Yeah, the babe and rubbing the shoulders things was extreme, but again, y'all, with the time jump, we find out she definitely been over there before, and yeah. So the other thing I want to touch on, and then we're gonna start getting into the the juiciness. I laugh because this is just another relatable part of the movie. So Stacy, obviously, she had never done this before, so she calls the homegirl, and the homegirl gives her a pep talk. Now, there's been plenty of times in my life where I'm about to do something, or it's about to go down, or I've been chasing this woman, and she finally about to let me get some, or whatever it may be, man. And you gotta call that homeboy, like, yo, bro, it's about to go down. You gotta call the homies, yo. They gotta pump you up a little bit. You be nervous, man. We be nervous.
Really?
Yeah, man, we be nervous.
What kind of advice they give?
I don't want to get the show canceled. They let you know you got this. You know what I'm saying? I know for one of the things I do, because it's usually one of my frat brothers. I'm like, yo, we noobs, dog. We got superpowers. Just use your superpowers. You good. You good. Use your superpowers and you good. That typically works. We do have superpowers, man. I mean, some of y'all just get weak when y'all see the shimmy. Just throw, just pick one part of the night, give her a little bit of shoulder action. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Typically, I have not dated. There's not a woman I have dated that has not requested a shimmy. I'm like, yo, at my big age, you really like? I'm 37, huh?
You a GDI?
No, some of them. No, dang. You know what? I've been in relationships with 2 D9 women actually. Yeah, the shimmy.
I'm just like, if you shimmy at 37 while you about to come get some, with me being Greek too, I'm gonna be like, Negro, what is wrong with you? Sit down.
I only do it when they request it. It's very, yeah, because
this is not a talent show, not this type of talent.
Right. But I'm like,
that's not a talent I'm here for.
Oh, okay. Let me get some shoulder action, and it goes down. But
that's interesting. I knew girl, like you can call like a homegirl and be like, like, oh,
yeah.
We swinging for the silk fan tonight. Like, what's good? Like, what should I do? You know what I mean? Like, we do that, and we also debrief. But I didn't know men, have these conversations for the prep.
Yo, like, see, we do, and we also debrief. The debrief is important. The debrief lets the other person know how much you like them, because if I really like you, the debrief is very brief and very light on details, because like I might marry her, so I don't need you to know all the stuff this nasty stuff that I just did. So when you see her, I don't need you picturing that.
That's so interesting, because they did get into, like you said, he did talk to the homeboy who was giving him the shrooms.
Yeah.
And his homeboy was giving him advice around, what to do.
Yep.
And so it was so funny hearing him say, it's less about you, but it's about getting the girls to be comfortable with each other.
Yep.
And I have a homeboy, and he's had a couple of threesomes, and he's always said, like, you create the environment, right? And then you let the women, engage with each other. And that creates this level of comfortability. So he doesn't even have to do much. Like he's just like, yeah, he's sitting back there watching, like, got him. And so it pops off. But that was interesting to see on screen how, that translated from, listening to my homeboys to actually being like a valid point in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would think I haven't been in a threesome. I've been told that, hey, I'm down for one, and we'll get to that in a few. I've been told we'll be down for one, but when obviously you got to set boundaries. When we got to the boundaries and the rules, I was like, this is not gonna make any sense. So we're gonna talk about that in a few, y'all. We're gonna move through the movie a little bit more. Then we're gonna talk about like what our rules or boundaries would be for a threesome, but. On the night of the threesome, Stacy shows up, knocks on the door. Unbeknownst to her, Justin was just about to get some head in the kitchen from Lorraine, so they was about to start without
violation. Flag on the play. If I had a whistle, I'd be blowing it. Because that pissed me all the way off. What y'all not gonna do?
Yeah. And again, you find this out later because they was already having sex. So you find this out later, but it's crazy when you're watching the movie and you see it later and it's like, dang, bro. But I think now that part was fake because there's no way his dick went down that quick. Like you went from this fine behind woman about to really give it to you, and y'all already had sex before, so you probably already horny to go and answer the door in about 10 seconds after zipping. And then this a new age film, so he had on skinny jeans. Ain't no way, bro. But anyway,
not the skinny jeans.
The skinny jeans. So got that down.
He looked like he didn't even want to go answer the door.
He didn't,
like, at all.
So they get into like what Sheena was talking about earlier. They start getting into conversation, and that's when Stacy starts to realize, like, look, wait, y'all really like know each other, and the shrooms are out. I think they smoking too, and they drinking wine. But one of the things that kind of at one point I thought it wasn't going to happen because. And this is another weird thing, and it's back to relationships. I thought it wasn't going to happen because as Justin was talking, Stacy was hearing things she's never heard before, like he didn't want kids. And in her head, she was like, wait, what? And I'm like, y'all. And then it's weird because later in the movie, they both they admit that they love one another. It's like, well, what the hell y'all been talking about, or what the hell y'all been doing?
This whole time. Because I know in my 30s, that is one of the main questions that I ask. Like, what are, do you want kids? Like, the major things, right? So we don't waste each other's time. So how y'all been talking? Because I want to be a homeowner. I want to have kids. That didn't come up in conversation before you start saying I love you?
That part.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't really have a gauge on the timeline of how long they've been talking. I feel like it hadn't been that long.
I love you.
Yeah, maybe a couple months. I don't know. I think it was a few months. I don't think it was that long. But that was interesting. And that's the scary part about a threesome, because now you have another person there, especially if you bring in somebody familiar, which is, to Sheena's point, I think it's dope or smart if you're going to do it, to bring in an outsider, someone that's new to both of y'all. Because if you have history, when you have history with somebody, when they come around, whoever you're with, they're going to see and hear things they've probably never heard before. Like, most of my friends, my closest friends, are from college. They know a side of me, and they know things about me that a woman I would date right now probably wouldn't know. And not because I'm hiding it. It's just because I'm so much older now, I don't think about it. But it could still bother her if somebody brought up some of the things that I've done and said. But I'm like, yo, you got to put that in perspective, too, because they're in their 30s, but Lorraine knew him when they were in high school. So you talking, what, 20 years ago?
Yeah, but, I knew that heifer was shaky because she pulled out a power move. She busted out with a point. Would you like this blood red rose before it wilts and dies? And I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, who's she reciting? This don't sound like no Langston Hughes. It ended up being one of his poems, one of Justin's poems from high school. And Stacey
Yeah.
sitting there like, you remember the poem that he wrote? She was just like, yeah. Stacey, listen, sweetheart, I need you to stop being naive, because as soon as this heifer busted out in that poem, because it was a very touching poem, and the way she delivered it was just like, it was siren energy. I am coming for your man.
It was.
Energy. Okay? We would have been on the floor tussling.
You
And not in a threesome way. Not in a threesome way.
You can,
because that is giving, it was a ode to Brown Sugar. You remember when Tay was like reciting back one of Sanaa's poems, right? Or articles. And she was like, dang, you read all my work. And that's when they fell in love.
Yeah.
Bruh, that was this.
It was.
So yeah, somebody head would have got rocked.
Yeah, you could definitely tell Lorraine was into Justin way more than she probably, I'm not gonna say she probably should have been, but way more than what he was letting on. Because he was like, nah, she's cool, just from high school. Unbeknownst to him, how deep her, I guess, love is what she called it for him was. He didn't really know because she had a thing for him. So, so they all took the shrooms and they started getting high.
Stacey was gonna have to relax. That was the only way this threesome was gonna pop up.
Yeah, so one of the dope things that I did like too is they give you a little bit of point of view from everyone's perspective, because at one point or another in the movie, two of them are together and the third person is on the outside, and then you get to hear their thoughts. So there's one point where Justin is dancing with Lorraine and Stacey's in her head like, dang, they look kind of good together. Like, what's really going on over there? And am I really ready for this? And I can't believe he didn't tell me I have kids. And she remembers the poem. Like, she's kind of in her head and getting nervous and not knowing if she wants to do this. And that kind of brings out, like, you know, that insecure part. Because I think some of that's going to be there with a threesome, because that's a new person that's going to bring a new experience to your partner on both ends.
Mm-hmm. But in the movie, it's at a whole different level. Like,
Yeah.
you have a very much inexperienced woman, right, who you can already tell has, you know, insecurities, and then you have this siren who comes in and she's just owning, like, the embodiment is just like body energy, soul snatching energy, right? And it's like, I wonder, like, for women, like, if your man was to bring somebody else in and she is just like top tier bad bitch support group, like, would that make you feel some kind of way?
Probably so. I mean, same thing if you're into that. If you're a dude and you want to have, you know, run a train on a chick, I just can't see someone wanting to bring in another dude. But people are into whatever they want to be into. I'm pretty sure those things settle in. Like, you and your partner got to be Trump tight when y'all bring that new person in there, man. That's all I can really say about that. All right, so before we start getting into, like, the intimate part, because I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. So what do you think some acceptable boundaries are for a threesome? Like, you haven't had one, but let's say you were with someone and you were considering it. Why are you making that face?
No, because I feel like you should go first, because it's been offered to you. I want to know what your girl's boundaries were.
It was fake offered. I'm gonna go over my offers too. I'm gonna go over one offer. One offer, she would have did it, but I hope nobody that I know really close to me is listening to this. If you are, this is rated X at this point. So she right. Yeah, I was doing too good of a job of eating her out, and she was like, I'm scared that if I bring in somebody new and you eat her out, then you gonna start messing with her. She was like, I don't want to share you, basically. Like, she brought it up, but then, like, the next day she thought about it. She was like, nah, I don't want nobody else to have that. So I'm like, you whack. Her friend was fine too. Whew.
Oh my gosh, see, this is what I'm talking about.
And I was young, yo. I was like 20. God, how old was I? I was only like 23, 24. I'd have wore both of them out. But later on, surprisingly, man, one of my girlfriends, I was like, wait, what? You? Yeah, I was terribly surprised. But similar to the girlfriend after her, they both were like, they were interested in it and they would consider it if I wanted to do it. But both of them said they not gonna kiss the other girl. I mean, it would be another woman. Neither one of us was allowed to kiss her, and
what? You weren't allowed to kiss the other girl?
I'm not allowed to kiss the other girl. I'm not allowed to eat her out, and my girl said I'm I'm not eating her out either. So I'm like, well then that's whack. Like, what do you?
What's the purpose?
And then when you switch between us, you got to put on a different condom. With okay, I get that, but it's like that's a lot.
You gotta understand that.
That's a lot and a little
like
bit at the same time.
Make it look so fluid, and I just feel like we have this skewed sense of what it's supposed to be or what it is, right? Because again, you watch pornos, you watch like movies, and it's like, oh, it looks so easy
and seamless, yeah.
But the mechanics, I feel like in real life are a little different. But your girls, do you feel like they were doing it to please you and they weren't truly interested in it? Because from my point of view, if you're doing it because of the man, I just feel like that's when you're going to have all these rules. But if this is something that you're genuinely interested in, and like you have a curiosity about it, you're not going to have that many boundaries of, oh, you can't kiss her, you can't eat her out. That's the whole what?
That's the whole point. No, it wasn't for me. It comes up in like just conversation in general. Like, have you ever had a threesome? Oh, would you consider it? Oh, would you consider it like that? It wasn't like, hey babe, let's have a threesome. Because I mean, honestly, I'm a nice and slow, take my time and focus on you type of person. I honestly think 2 women would be a lot for me. But I mean, I could do it, but it's not something that I need to check off my bucket list. But we just had a discussion. And I'm like, well, if you're not gonna eat another woman out, then that kills it. Cause like that's like every guy.
Even if she doesn't eat her out, she allows the other girl to eat her out, but still allows you to kiss her and eat her out. I think that's still okay.
But who gonna want to be somewhere where she's sucking and eating, but nobody doing it back to her? Like, what is she getting?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can still do her. You can still eat her out, right? She's just not gonna eat her out, and I think that's okay.
Because part of the thing is, at some point, you want to see those two go at it. Whether it's 69 or whatnot, like I want to be there. Like
you want to sit by and watch.
Yeah, and then hop in. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to see it. You know.
Interesting. Yeah, I understand the visuals. I'm a germaphobe, so
yeah,
at this point in my life, I'm cool on it. Like I don't feel like I need to do it.
Right.
But I don't judge, and I'm like I can expand my consciousness to understand why some people do it. Like I get it. It looks very sexy. But yeah, I know for me, I probably wouldn't have all those rules. The only rule I would probably have is that you can't finish on her. That would probably be cool.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'm getting that. That's mine. I gotta pull a power move and show you like this is mine. Like
kind of like Stacy did in the
Lorraine
movie.
Power move.
Stacy and Lorraine, yeah, that power move was ridiculous, man. So, y'all eventually, let me see. I'll make sure I don't skip anything that we actually really need to cover. Oh yeah, so they start kissing on Stacy.
Because they know they had to get her first.
They had to get her first. She was the nervous one, whoever that nervous one is. And that was hilarious because she's in her head and it's like they kissing, they touching, they rubbing.
Like, oh, this feels good, but oh, it feels wrong, but it feels good. Like, what should I do? Like,
do I love women now? Like,
you're right.
Lorraine was giving it to her, bro. I'm like, oh my God, it's about to go down. And in typical fashion, it felt too good, which scared her and she made them stop. That sucked, but I could see that happening realistically because it's sometimes you're like, yo, I'm down, I'm ready to do this, and then when you in it, it's like no. Just like them people ready to bungee jump until they get up there. It's like it's time to jump. Like no,
we stutter step. Can I get some more wine? This weed ain't showing up. Can I get some more wine, please? Like that's how she was. I don't think everything had kind of set in yet for her.
Yeah. So. They went to go get more wine. Well, she wanted more wine. She asked for more wine. I don't think she wanted. That was her excuse. Justin goes to get the wine. No,
Lorraine.
Lorraine go gets. Yeah, is that when she got in her head?
No, Lorraine went to go get the wine, right? And so Justin is talking to Stacy, is like, "Are you okay?" And she was like, "Cool." And then Lorraine breaks the bottle of wine in the kitchen. So Justin saunters off
Not
into the
saunter.
kitchen, saunters off into the kitchen to check on Lorraine and make sure she's good. And Lorraine is like, "Oh, open up some more wine. It's all good." And Justin's like, "That's the only bottle."
Trash.
First of all, you did not prep good enough.
How you
got one bottle of Moscato?
One bottle.
One bottle. First of all, it's Moscato. But anywho, everybody want to be Drake. He's just like, "Yeah, just go to the store," right? And she kisses him again.
Yeah, very intimate.
That's when Stacy gets in her head like, "Hey guys, something going on in there?" She's just like, "Oh, they're leaving me out."
Yeah,
and that they were.
That they
were. But when she comes in, it's like, okay, he finally heads out the door to go, get this new bottle of wine while he's super high.
Yeah. Them shrooms start kicking in. And so then the two ladies are left alone. And the conversation, Stacy was like talking about like real life shit. And I'm like, yo, Lorraine is like, oh my God.
Like, shut the hell up.
Like, shut the hell up. That was...
But she's giving her some gems.
Yeah.
Right? She's still giving her some life gems within. But she can tell, like, she even said it in her head. She was like, this chick is boring.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, Stacy is just going, like, spilling.
Yes.
Like, I want to be a homeowner and want to help kids and blase. And it's like, girl, this is not what you're here for. This is not your best friend. Why are you talking like this?
It was
like
bad.
that was just weird to me.
And then
that just shows her naivety.
Yeah, that's the nerves. And so eventually Lorraine relaxes her and starts to give her a massage. And Justin, funny enough, Justin runs into his white ex-girlfriend at the liquor store. I forgot what that interaction was like, but it was funny.
It was very awkward.
It was awkward. You could tell she was mad.
Face. She was all in his face.
She was mad. But he gets back, and this is the funny thing that happens. When he gets back, the ladies are kind of like in their own little world. So, yeah. And so now it's his turn, and in his head, he's like, damn, I'm losing control of the situation. And I'm like, nah, bro, like, this is what you want. Like, you want them to be warmed up to one another. You're already comfortable with both of them. You done had sex with both of them, unbeknownst to one of them. So they haven't interacted with one another. So now he gets in his head about that. And that's another thing, like,
that's crazy.
As a man, we like control, right? And we like to make sure that things flow a certain way. So I could understand what he was feeling at that time, because it's like, yo, I got this planned out. I done made the Sandman. I got the wine. They over here. We got the incense going. Like, we got the lighting right. And then it's like, when something happens outside of that, it's like, oh, shit. Like, wait, I didn't plan for this. Like, wait, how y'all get started without me? What else did y'all do when I wasn't here? You start getting in your own head, and then you high. So that don't help.
I guess, child. But it was... Because I'm like, this is what you wanted, sir. This is what you wanted. Right? You want to observe. You want to be a part of it. Like, I understand. Y'all can still get back into the throes of things. This is not taken away from you. But while Lorraine and Stacy are making out, Stacy is just like, oh my gosh, this massage feels amazing. Like, maybe this is all I need. Some good drugs, a massage. I love women. She's just like going off in her head. So now you don't went from vanilla to now you love women. It's like weird.
And try something.
But that just shows she's all over the place, and she needs to find out who the hell she is.
For real.
Like, and what she likes. But yeah, that whole insecurity thing from Justin, I was just like, dude, like, grow up.
So yeah. So Justin, he goes to the bathroom. Didn't he puke or something? Yeah, he threw up. He was too high.
He was super high.
Yeah, I don't know about
because he doubled his. Remember, he was just like, I'm gonna do double.
Yeah, he was killing the shrooms. I don't know what shrooms do to you, but I have no idea. Yeah. So he throws up, and then now they get back, and now it's like, all right, we about to go at it for real. Mm-hmm. And he can't get hard because he's too high. Oh my god, yo, that you talking about bad timing, yo, like not now, not when it's really about to go down. Y'all kissing on me, y'all touching on me. And I mean,
I just knew that was going to happen.
Lorraine was nasty. She's like, "You're not gonna get it hard for me, baby." I'm like, "Oh no!" That's another thing Stacey should have picked up on. I was like, "Hold up."
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. It's like, why would you know what that feel like? Like
that part.
Another question, but they too high. Stacey too high.
So yeah, that's what I give them a pass on some of this, them not catching it, because when you high, you ain't thinking about it. Me, I like to load up the clip and then I unleash later, because it's like, all right, this ain't the time, but there will be a time. So
we're gonna talk about it after the fact.
We are. I'm gonna get mine first. This is where the movie takes like a weird turn. So Justin has to go take a walk to clear his head, right? And when he's walking,
like, have you ever had to do that? Like, you gotta get up and be like, okay,
who, me?
Get some fresh air.
Has this ever happened to me?
Or like a moment of ED, like you just like.
I've only had one moment of ED in my life. It was the most uncomfortable, scary thing ever, and I still don't know what caused it. I think maybe it was stress. I don't know, but I had no STD. I had nothing. I went to the doctors. I had ultrasounds, all kind of stuff. Because I'm like, what is wrong with me? I'm too young for this. I don't know, but I couldn't do anything about it.
And grinding to do.
What?
Yeah. That was you. You were just like, I'm too young. I got more bumping and grinding.
Way too young. I went on a trip to Jamaica with one of my ex.
Wait a minute, it was on a trip?
Yeah, it happened before.
Oh, I would be
listen.
I'm sorry.
It was
take me out of the country. I don't get no balcony sex. Like,
it was happening before, and I let her know before. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I mean, I took tests. I sent her the test results. I'm like, I don't got nothing, but like, I don't know what's happening. And yeah, well, shit, I'm telling my business now because some people know about this. But anyway, yeah, it just wasn't working. She got masterful head though.
Hey,
masterful,
makeup,
multiple times. Yeah, but yeah, a few months after.
She ain't gotta do no work.
Yeah, she ain't have to do no work, man. I was mad. I was like apologizing because I was like, this ain't me. Like, I'm telling you, because when we first met, we went at it.
So she knows it works.
She knows, like, and she loved it. But for some, it got better. I can't tell y'all what I did or what happened. Maybe I got less stressed. It got better, and
you probably were stressed. And I think that's the fact that you were open and honest with her beforehand and had that conversation, and y'all had comfortable communication where you felt like you were in a safe space to divulge that information. Because a lot of times, Negroes are stressed, know, and that could not to say this is a long-term thing, but in the moment, it's just like, okay, you stressed at your job or something, right? And being able to tell that to her and her not make you feel bad about it, I think, is a great thing, because we need to have more open lines of communication about that, because I feel like it's happening a lot more, especially with guys in their 30s, because for us, our sex drive is going up, y'all's is going down. So that's why I'm in the gym. So y'all
yeah, I'm about to just get back in there. But
but yeah, go on.
No, you're right. I'm glad I was able to share that with her. And I'm a very upfront person to a fault, because I'm like, yo, I don't ever want you to walk away from me and be like, he was dishonest, he lied, he didn't let me know. Because I want the same thing in return. But like I said, I made up for it at a later date and time. And she was like, oh, this is what I've been missing. Like, yeah.
No.
We're back. We back now. We back.
No, we back.
But
you wrapped it up.
That was the only time in my life that happened.
But that's a serious conversation. I had a friend of mine who was seeing this guy, and it was early on, but he didn't really divulge this information because apparently he had been struggling with this for years prior to her. And so, they were trying to engage in the act, and it just was not happening. And, she was just like, I don't know what to do. Like, I like him, but like, this is a very much important part of a relationship. And we don't have a solid foundation because we just started dating, and I found out you got ED, and it's something you've been to the doctors and they still don't know what's going on. So it wasn't just a little stress thing. This is something that has been happening for years. So she had to come to a crossroads to be like, is this what's happening? Am I going to deal with this for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
when my hormones is going crazy. Or, I mean, they had conversations and eventually, she ended it. But, it was a real thing.
So you just pointed something out, and this is a very sidebar, y'all. This is a very controversial topic that I hear from these social media gurus. It's like when to reveal certain things during dating, and it pisses me off because of certain things they're like, well, that's my business. But I'm like, yo, that's like a key element that somebody wants to know. So like if a guy let's say you're dating a guy, when do you want him or when do you think he should divulge that type of information to you?
If he got ED in his long term?
Yeah.
Immediately.
Like first date?
Immediately.
Like before the first date?
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
That's gonna save us a lot of time and money.
I'm gonna be honest with you, yeah. I feel like this, y'all.
But don't get to the point where y'all about to have sex and you can't have sex. And I'm just sitting here thinking like, oh, because at the end of the day, it could be she could start feeling insecure and being like, well, maybe he's not attracted to me, or like it's something wrong, because sometimes women, we overthink things, right? So it's just like, damn, like, is there something wrong with me? Like he can't get it up, and his head game was trash, so that was like double negative. So your head game trash, and you got ED. So what am I doing here? Wow. Like, why do I need you? I'm gonna bring this little instrument out the nightstand. Yeah. And in a minute, I'm good.
Sorry, brothers out there. First of all, I'm sorry if you have ED, and we're not. I know we're not belittling or making fun. But on a serious note, you need to go to some pussy eating classes. You got to go to some pussy eating classes for real. Like,
oh my god,
you got fingers. I'm going there because it's like. Wherever you have shortcomings at, like you need to be able to make up for somewhere else or do something. Because I mean, sex is highly important, and unfortunately, you being a man, sex is like people. A lot of women already think sex is like the first thing on our mind, and sometimes it's the first thing on their mind. So it's like, all right, I need to know how to maneuver through this. You just can't be out here all willy nilly. Right. Now. You might find a vanilla chick who just not into sex like that. I've dated women like that.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I say immediately. So it's like we don't waste each other's time, because there are people out here who are asexual, who don't want to have sex. That might be a better fit for you, right? Like, we're not shaming anybody. I don't want nobody to come for me in the comments or nothing. It's just like immediately, so I can decide. Give me a choice. Yeah. Right. I don't want to be robbed of the choice to be like, okay, I've spent 6 months with you and now I'm dissatisfied, because what that's gonna do? You're gonna end up cheating. That probably. Or y'all gotta come up with some arrangement. Like, can I have outside buns?
Outside, but y'all call it buns like, too?
Outside buns, like
not the outside buns.
I like you enough to continue the relationship, but you can't do that. Can I have outside buns? Like, how does this work? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Immediately. Let's talk about these things immediately.
Yeah, I give people what I call the high school screening. And I grew up in the high school in the 2000s. We be on the phone for hours, and we talk a lot before the first date. Because I need to know who I'm going out with. I need to know, do I need to bring my knife? Do I need to bring my gun? Do I need to look over my shoulder? Do I even want to go out with you? Are we even going to have fun? Are we compatible? Like, I talk a lot before I go on a date. Or if we go on a date early on before the talk, we're going to talk in between that first date and that second date, because I need to get to know you and kind of get in your head and see what your life is really like. And I'm going to ask you some hard-ass questions, and you're going to be inclined to answer them, because typically I don't ask questions that I'm not willing to answer myself or that I haven't already answered myself. Like, we can talk about credit score, we can talk about debt, we can talk about all of that shit. Like, I'm not afraid of it, because me being upfront with you lets you know what type of decision you need to make, and it lets me know what type of decision I need to make, because we can't get our time back.
That's facts.
Can't get it back. So this was for me. I took this a little bit deeper probably than it should have went this part of the movie, but Justin couldn't get it up. So at an earlier point in the movie, Justin met Lorraine's fiance. He was having sex with her. When they finished, the fiance came home. He was like, "Oh, is that your roommate?" She's like, "No, that's my fiance." So he thinking he about to have to scrap or something like that. Mm-hmm. But dude, he's an older guy, probably, I don't know, maybe in the 60s or something like that. He didn't look old because black don't crack. But
Yeah, but I definitely felt like the way they portrayed it, he was like in his 60s.
yeah, he just came home and was like, "Hey, what's going on? Hey, you should stay for dinner. You want something to drink? You want
Eminem?
some peanut M&M peanut M&Ms?" That was wild, right? So, cause she was like, "Oh, he's cool with it." So
Right.
that kind of blew his mind. So
And I mean,
while
she wasn't lying.
she wasn't
That's the truth
lying,
of polyamorous. You're open and honest.
yeah, and you find out, man. Now I'm really thinking. You find out more later with more flashbacks, but anyway, Justin's outside his crib. He's almost back to the house, and he sees a car, and he looks, and it's Tony, Lorraine's fiance, sitting outside in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And he ends up in a conversation with him. He's like, "Y'all done yet?" And he's like, "No." Well, he lied. He's like, "What you doing here?" He's like, "I was just in the neighborhood." But what he actually was doing was really watching over her. Now, at first, I'm like, "Yo, is this dude crazy? Like, what the hell is about to happen?"
It is a little creepy.
And so they get into a little bit of conversation, and he talks about how when he saw Lorraine, like that was the most beautiful woman he ever saw, and he had to have her, this, that, and the third.
He wasn't gonna
And
get another chance.
wasn't gonna get another chance because you in your 60s, you pass your prime as far as like being young and sexy and all that good stuff. So it's like, okay, well, what's available to me? Okay, this fine ass woman is willing to be with me in this capacity. I'll take it because it's either that or nothing or somebody my age, whatever. It really got into the mentality of, I'll say amen. I won't say men. I'll say amen. And it was very interesting that I'm in love with this woman. Like, he sounded like he was deeply in love with her, but he's in this relationship where he's sharing her. But at that point in his life, he's like, I'm okay with this because this is what it makes her happy, and I want to see her happy. That's how much I love her.
Mm-hmm.
And to take it a level deeper,
Not like he can't get it up, but I just
yeah,
feel like she's just not sexually compatible with him because
yeah,
in one of the flashbacks, you can tell like she's just after she meets Justin, she's just going through the motions with Tony.
yeah, she
It's
is.
like,
He
okay,
might
hurry
be.
up, get off. Like,
Yeah, 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 yeah. I forgot about those flashbacks.
yeah,
And they even tried some threesomes, and she didn't want to mess with that other guy. He looked so sad. The other guy was so sad. She's like,
yeah.
no, get your
Like,
dick
you
out my
want this?
face.
She's like, nah, get out of here.
Yeah, he wasn't. Her heart and head wasn't in it. She was in love with Justin
Yeah,
for.
once she met Justin again, it was over. Like for
Yeah,
everybody else.
yeah. She had like a huge. I don't know what that was about, but so he kind of fusses at Justin. And was like, nah, bro, like you can't get it up. Okay, well, you promised her, and you're gonna keep your word to her. That's how badly he wanted his fiance to be satisfied, even though it wasn't by him. So he
Yep.
opens the glove box, and you see a gun, and I said, "Here go the hood turn in the movie." But they shocked me. I was like, he about to shoot him, he about to throw him. The hood turn, like that unexpected wackadoodle turn, but it didn't happen. He got some oil and held his hand over my man's junk. Didn't touch him. I was like, please don't touch him, but he didn't touch him, and he did some whatever.
Chakras.
Yes. And he rose again. So
He was like, go in there and handle your business, partner.
yeah, go in there and handle your business. And he sent him back in there. Yeah. What had happened after that, Lord?
Better than me, child, because ain't no way.
Okay, yeah. So when he gets back in, this is the moment. This is another moment. And this was, I mean, for me personally, it was shocking. I forget everything, every little thing that happens, but Stacy and Justin end up on the couch. And this is the moment where Lorraine is now on the outside looking at those two.
Yeah.
And
they were tickling. They were tickling each other.
yeah, and they were having fun, like innocent fun, like cutesy wootsy stuff. And Lorraine, at this point, I believe at this point, that she has like this huge crush on Justin, wants to be with him, and her insecurities come out. Now Lorraine is sexy, like Sheena said earlier, she got the energy, she got the body, like she just oozes sexuality and confidence. But in her head, she was like, wow, like they really look good together. And she even imagines them, him in a tux and her in a wedding dress, and she could see them getting married. And she was like, he'll never want that with me. Like, I got a 16-year-old daughter. My life is like this. I'm like that. Like, he'll never want that with me. And that insecurity came out, and that threw me through a loop because I never would think a woman, my ignorance, I never would think that a woman that looks like that, kid or not, you look like that woman, okay? Like, who don't want you?
Nah, and that can still breed insecurities. Like we all we're overcritical of ourselves.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like you're going to have insecurities. I don't care how good you look or what kind of man you pull. is literally you against you
Yeah.
at times, right? And you being in your head. So I appreciated that. I
Yeah.
appreciated them showing that layer of vulnerability.
Yeah.
Like even the most beautiful women have flaws and insecurities. So
That was one of the small touches in the movie that I really love, because they took those moments and they kept them in the realm of reality. They didn't turn around and crack like a cheesy joke or make it a joke immediately after. It was like a real moment. You got those real moments with
yeah.
each character, and you could kind of see yourself in their foot in their shoes.
Mhm.
And I thought that was really dope. So
And she calls Tony. She calls Tony while she's in the bathroom.
oh yeah, Tony gives her a
Pep
gives
talk.
her a pep talk, and she's like, "Come get me." Little does she know he outside, but he was like, "No, you said you're gonna do this. You need to keep your word. You need to go get that dick." No, he's.
But I think it was more than that. I think he knows that she loves him. So
Yeah.
she's just like, he's like, go get your man. Basically, like hyping her up. Like, no, anybody would be lucky to have you. And that takes a strong man to say that,
Yeah.
this is my fiance, and I'm telling you to go get this man that you love. Right. But it was just a very layered moment
Yeah.
that was just like, it's complicated.
Yeah, that's a lot, man. And I don't get it because I haven't been in those shoes, and I'm selfish like that with my relationships. But as I get older, like the way I thought when I was younger and the things that I would accept and wouldn't accept have shifted and changed, because I realized some of the stuff I was capable of and some of the stuff I did back then I'm not willing to do, and some of it I can't do anymore. So it's like, I guess when you get at that age, one, you probably don't want to be lonely, and then like
Right.
she do look like that, bruh, and it's like I don't I don't know. Like I don't understand. I fully understand it. But it's like that's just where that man was in his life, man. It's like, nah, you need to be happy, because if you're happy,
Right.
I'm happy. Pleasing you is enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
So
And then when they were like hanging up, he was just like, I love you, Lorraine. She was like, bye, Tony. I was like, damn,
yeah,
that got to cut.
it
Because
did.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it was that moment of like, we're at this crossroads and like, you love me, but it's not necessarily reciprocal.
I tolerate you.
That level.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely much. I tolerate you. You provide stability. I love what you bring from a business aspect. We're healing people together. Like, that's great, but you're going to never get 100% of me.
Never.
And that was like, damn, that gotta hurt.
That yeah. He had to settle. That's that nasty word.
Settle.
Yeah. So
she was just like, when she ran back into Justin, she was like, I'm not selling anymore. This was a settle for me with Tony in this polyamorous relationship. But now that I found my true love again, I'm not gonna miss out on this.
she was not about to miss out. So
So she took that pep talk.
She took the pep talk.
Pulled up her big girl draws.
And they finally, y'all, the threesome happened. So I forget how it ends up happening. How did it end up? I don't remember. Anyway.
It said threesome on the screen. Like, literally, that was the transition.
Yep.
It was like threesome.
So
Lorraine comes out of the bathroom. And she immediately, like, they're talking on the couch. Justin and Stacey are talking on the couch. They're high, definitely high. Stacey's feeling it. And she comes out and she's like, I'm ready. And then she drops her dress.
Yeah.
And walks over to the couch where Justin and Stacey are sitting with her beads, her waist beads, titties out.
I'm going to pause right there and we're going to get to the spicy part.
I can't.
If you were to have a threesome, do you think drugs and alcohol is a good idea, bad idea? Necessary, unnecessary?
I'm gonna make this. I've never done shrooms. I know people who have, and they enjoyed their trip, right? Like if you're around good energy or whatever. I've heard that. Now, for me, would I have to be a little inebriated? Yeah. Especially like your first time, you want to get out of your head.
Yeah.
Right. Because I'm type A, I'm an overthinker. So I probably would be a little bit like Stacey, like, oh, this feels good, but what the hell am I doing? So I probably need, a little liquid courage.
Yeah.
Of sorts.
Yeah, I would like to be drunk and not drunk.
I don't want to be drunk.
Not drunk. Maybe like a drink and a half. Maybe a drink and a half.
These orgasms, baby.
Yeah. Couple puffs. couple puffs. Now, if I get high, it's never gonna end. It's never gonna end. So, okay. Just a thought, and y'all share that in the comments. When you had your threesome, did you get high? Did you get drunk?
Right. Sober.
What had happened? So this is where the movie takes another turn, in my opinion.
Unexpected.
Typically in these type of movies, they're like, they don't get like this. Like everybody got naked. You seeing ass, you seeing titties, you seeing toes. I'm like, oh, y'all really about to do this scene, like. So then the sex and jealousy starts. So, so at first Stacy is getting a majority of the attention, and Lorraine's watching, and then Justin and Stacy start having sex. He's stroking it, and Lorraine's just kind of like rubbing a titty and looking. She was like, "Oh no, I can't just be left out. Like he just knocking his pussy out. Like that's my dick." And
but the thing is, before that though, the way he was eating Stacy's box, Lorraine was jealous.
Yeah.
Like, look how he's licking her, slowly. I'm like, man, what? What are you supposed to do?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's his girl. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, she was, but she, he ain't eat my box like that. He wasn't supposed to be eating your box. But anyway.
Right.
Yeah, that was funny too. So the more of the inside the head stuff happens. So Lorraine goes down to eat. First of all, that's very complicated while I'm stroking, for someone to come in and eat your box while I'm stroking it. That takes courage, because you're getting hit by abs and all kinds of stuff. But she goes down. She goes down to Clit Town, and she's she mad and petty. So she's biting her, basically. She's biting Stacy, and Stacy's in her head like, ow, damn, like, what are you doing? Like, this is
ripping me up. She's like, should I stop her? And I'm screaming in the back of my mind like, hell yeah, stop her. Because again, that shows you how Stacy is not comfortable with speaking up on her own autonomy. Like, girl, say something. It does not feel good. You the type that's gonna let a man do whatever. Yeah. And you're not gonna say anything if it doesn't feel good to you. We too old for that. When I say right here, don't move, that's what I mean. Don't move. I'm gonna put your head back. Where's it supposed to be? But yeah, I hated that for Stacy, because I'm just like, yo, she's literally hurting you on purpose, and you're gonna sit here and take that when, again, this is supposed to be about your pleasure.
Yeah. Yeah, and don't hate in the middle of the threesome. That was hate, man. That could have blew the whole thing up. So her jealousy gets the best of her, and she pushes Stacy on the floor. Like, she pushed her on the floor hard. Like, doo-doo. Like,
she did hit the floor.
And so then she basically gets Justin, and now Justin's smashing her from the back. And Stacy's really, I didn't know what was going to happen next, because she was like, oh, that was rude. So she watching them two. And so she didn't know what to do. So she starts cheering Justin on, like, yeah, fuck her, baby.
I'm like, girl, what?
And Justin's into it. He's like, oh, like, you really want me to do this, right? And so then she starts to get into it a little more. Then she comes over to Lorraine, and she's like, oh, let me rub on her shoulder. Let me rub a titty. Let me do something. And so she gets into it a bit more. Yeah, it was that part was like, but it was like, okay.
This is when it turns into How to Be a Menace. What's the movie?
How to Be a Menace while drinking your
society while drinking your juice in the hood.
Yes,
it turns into that.
Oh my god! Yes,
and I'm like, what is happening here? You got Lorraine peeing.
Wait, you getting past? You getting
past? Okay, go ahead.
So
jeez.
We gotta talk about the dick suck. That was funny. So Lorraine comes, Justin sits down, and then now, we said earlier, Stacy does not like balls, is not good at giving head. But Lorraine is giving him such good head that she gets jealous, and then she comes over. So in Justin's mind, what I missed?
But before we get there, the power move from Lorraine. She ain't just over here regularly sucking, giving the 2-hand twist, got 3,000. This helpful. Gonna put her hands up in the air, like no hands. Waka flocka, no hands. right in front of Stacy. And I'm like, girl, you don't see this girl's trying to snatch your soul. Sorry, trying to snatch your man's soul. She showed you the no hands. Like, ma'am, wake up.
So Stacy turns Super Saiyan, and all of a sudden, she pushes Lorraine to the side and starts going in on the balls because that was all that was available, and blows Justin's mind. Then she starts sucking the dick, and to Justin's surprise, it was better than what Lorraine was doing. So Lorraine is sitting there because Lorraine thought she had it. Like, he done smashed me from the back. You know, now I done gave him the no hands. Like, I got him. And Stacy like, no, you don't. And so that again, Lorraine's in her head and she's insecure. Like, damn, like he don't moan like that with me. Like, that was crazy. Right. Stacy stepped it up. Sometimes it takes a little bit of competition. Yeah. It takes a little competition, but he nuts. And then that part led to Stacy going to the bathroom and kind of giving herself like a pat on the back after what she did. Oh my God. That's when she called the homegirl too, right?
Yep.
Calls a homegirl, lets her know she had a successful threesome. Now, this is the other funny part. Sheena, this is your part.
I hate this. Like, Stacy is standing in the mirror in the bathroom. There is clear cum on the side of her face. She takes her finger and wipes it off, and she's about to put it in her mouth. I scream because I'm like, girl, don't do that. Like, what are you doing? But she was just like, nah, I ain't gonna do this joke. I was just like, whew, thank goodness, because you want cold cum like in your mouth? Like, ma'am, don't do that. You ain't that advanced.
I laughed too hard at that, man. And then, so this is where all hell just breaks loose. Stacy comes out the bathroom. Lorraine is spanking Justin, and they're still just going at it.
Just like, going at it.
He's sucking her toes. She has some pretty toes. He's sucking her toes. He's sucking her toes, and then it's like, oh, you wanted me to squirt for you? And then she squirts on him. I'm like, what? And Stacy's just watching at this point. She fully dressed. Right. So in my mind, I'm like, clearly she don't want to
be. I didn't even notice she fully dressed.
Yeah. She just fully dressed, and they just going at it, and then Justin gets a golden shower from Lorraine. They show all of this, y'all. Like, I was like, Hulu is wilding in all the best ways. And
it's so much. It's like extreme.
It's extreme.
Parody even.
And Stacy's joke. Stacy's, ooh, they're gonna stink in the morning. But I was crying.
Right.
I was like, I would hope that they would wash tonight, but knowing them too, who knows?
And in that moment, Stacy's just like, you guys belong with each other. Like, that level of just foolery, she knows she can never get there. She's like, this ain't even my cup of tea, and I ain't even gonna try and get there. That's why I'm dressed in my clothes, because I got what I came here to get.
Yeah.
And, I needed my little badge for threesome. Now I'm out. She's like, I ain't even gonna try and save this relationship, because it ain't even worth it. You don't want kids. You over here getting peed on, spanked, out of my league. I'ma head out.
But not before I answer the phone from my fuckboy ex to let him know I had a threesome. Cause he's selling dreams, talking about, yeah, we about to get this house. I'm about to get this house. I'm about to get my shit together. Man, I just had a threesome. See, look.
Yep.
Bye.
He's just shocked.
And then at the very end, Lorraine gets what she wants because she done fucked Justin's brains out, and he's like, "Can I move in with y'all?" And she
right at this point, he all in for the polyamorous relationship. He's just real. Like, it's good to give up. He's like, "Can I move in with y'all?" And Lorraine is like, "Can you pay utilities?" He's like, "Fuck yeah!" Like, what?
Oh,
just
man.
move in with Stacy. Now you had a whole polyamorous moving in to Tony's place.
Yeah, that was a whole nother dynamic. He was breaking up with Stacy in his head already before all this stuff even happened. So there's some little nuances y'all will catch, man. But that's basically a synopsis of the movie. I loved it. It is totally, absolutely worth the experience. Go watch it, man. It's hilarious. Watch it with your girl or your significant other, whoever your significant other may be. I don't know your preferences. I got to keep that in mind. Watch it with your significant other, and then I want y'all to exchange conversations. And see what the other person thinks about it. And if you've had a threesome, I think you should watch it and reflect on, did I feel like that? Was it awkward? I talked to one of my homies, and his his experience was nothing like that. The lucky bastard.
You said the lucky bastard. So he had a more fluid situation.
He had the unexpected one. They was just chilling, and then all of a sudden he was like, "Oh, well, y'all two going at it. Let me jump in," and it just went down.
And that's what that goes back to my point about setting the stage.
He ain't even set the stage. They was like, it wasn't even, none of that was supposed to happen. Like, they was just literally just chilling, and it just happened. I was like, dang, man. But well, that's all we got for y'all. That's oh,
no,
man.
it's a nice little fun like Friday watch.
Yeah.
Like, you just want something to laugh. Sometimes you don't want to be all serious with the dramas.
Yeah.
Just a little kickback laugh.
It's definitely a good kickback laugh movie, man. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get up out of here. Go watch 3 Ways. Support some black excellence. It's on Hulu. Yes. Majority black cast. There's one white person in it.
What you say like that?
What? I'm pronouncing the WH. White. Clearly. But it was a good movie, man. And shout out to everyone that was involved in the movie, man. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you for putting that out there. And I follow all of them, man. Go follow them on Instagram. I can't wait to see what other projects that they do in the future.
Yeah.
Reclaiming Sheena, thank you for joining me tonight. I appreciate it.
I like to come in and add some personality.
Yeah, we definitely gonna have you back on. And ladies and gentlemen, we love y'all. Take care of yourselves physically, mentally, financially, and we catch y'all next time. Peace.